Is it tricks of the trade or just bad habits? Find out for yourself as we look around one of our new sites. I get frustrated and excited when we look at a possible another new site. The recruitment continues and our support ops get frantic sorting out issues with one of our veterinary customers. I'm Lee, this is Vapor Clean. Let's see behind the cleans. Monday, 4th of September, sun is shining and it should be a good week. We've got lots going on, plenty happening. We've got a meeting with one of our new clients that we're setting up today, so I'm meeting Aaron and Ashley there. We're going to do a walk around of the site again, just to have a look around and get Aaron and Ashley set up. They are actually completing the clean this morning, because the best way to know a site is to actually clean it. Always the best way to start a week with a new site. So, you know, makes the energy go and keeps us moving forward. On the specialist side, we have a potential new technician on a trial day. Mondays are our biggest day for extractor systems, because a lot of restaurants and places like that shut on a Monday, so obviously they prefer to get all their maintenance work done on a Monday so it doesn't affect their trading hours, which is a perfect time for them to go out on the trial. He's with Lee today, and I'm not sure who Lee's with, but he's with Lee today, and then a little job to finish off the day as well. And it's just really good for the team to spend some time in a van with them on a site. Priority number one has to be fit for the team. If they don't fit for the team, then I don't care how good they are. I'm leaving the customer service team last week, highest ever booking target in a day. They were absolutely smashing it last week. Definitely within range of probably beating the target for the month, considering we're a person down in the office in a minute is absolutely amazing. Let's get this site set up and crack on with the week. As per usual, Ashley and Aaron are here before me. I'm only a couple of minutes late, but they're always a couple of minutes early, which is how it should be.
It's my job to be an when it comes to safety. Gotta say it.
That's what we all understand. Let's move on from that.
On site, for all of our staff on site, and the setup, raise potential hazard awareness.
We would have all partial risk assessment sheets and everything
If you've got that case, see, this is what I mean from the last company, didn't have any of that, so I've done all that.
We will cover it that way, yeah.
Amazing. If you bring anything on site and it stays there, close up. Is that right?
You'll get it two ways. So we'll put a safety site pack on site. So that'll have all of our health and safety, all of our risk assessments, policy statements, all of that sort of stuff. So that will be kept in the cleaning cupboard.
Amazing.
And Ashley can email everything over to you, so you've got all the copies as well. So as per usual, there was a couple of weeks where the last cleaners were working out their notice periods, and the standards have dropped from when I did the original inspection, but that's normal.
The only real thing that as they never do is the bin. I change the bin most.
So just finished the setup meeting at Cable Tech. Went really well. Some really interesting stuff going on there. The machines I find really amazing. I do find manufacturing intriguing, the way everything works. Customers really positive about the change, as they put it, looking forward to having a proper contractor involved. Just felt that their last cleaning contractor just didn't do anything professionally. Anything that they were mentioned as feedback wasn't action. I mean, something as simple as not doing their own health and safety and just kind of passing the buck on to the client by saying, oh, that's not our responsibility. Well, actually, yes, it is. You're the one that's providing the service. You're the one that's providing the cleaning solutions. Therefore, the risk assessments, the method statements, and all the rest of it was all under your responsibility. But, you know, we're there now. We're setting, we'll get it up and running properly, and it'll all be good. Heading back round now to drop off at some content to Craig, because he's actually off on annual leave next week, so he's trying to get himself ahead to make sure obviously we don't drop any miss any content while he's off, which will be great. So I'm making sure he gets the content nice and early this time, and we can crack on with that, and then I'm back to the office. Come on. Tuesday 5th of September, I was going to say August. Tuesday 5th of September, I'm heading to the office 5 to 9. Last day of the summer holidays for my kids, so I had to wait there before I had someone to look after them, take them for the day. I've got a couple of things I've got to catch up on. An appraisal with Sean, still only a couple of weeks into the job, picking it up really well. Did have an appraisal with Danny yesterday as well, same reason, you know, she's about 6 weeks in now, I think. But yeah, going well, and she's doing really well. We highlighted some points, highlighted some things that we need to work on, sort of up training her skill set for the actual business itself. The biggest thing for her is coming out of a position that she's been in for, or a business that she's been in for a long time. Knew it inside and out. She's got to learn our business and a new industry, so it's a lot to learn, but she's doing really well. Support ops, Ashley had a couple of interviews yesterday. We'll catch up with Ashley to see how she's got on with some of those interviews. Barthampton school clean, it kicked off yesterday as well. Seems to be going well. Obviously they did the deep clean on it. Technicians are all out on a multitude of jobs, quite a few end of tenancies today, a few carpet cleans to do. I think they're heading to Barthampton to give a hand over there as well. It doesn't matter how well you structure a clean, in the first instance it won't go to plan, or it might go to plan but it will take you longer. Obviously wages are going up, so the biggest cost for the client is the time that people are on site. If we can reduce that amount of time, they get a better price for the service. Obviously our focus needs to be to make sure that we're delivering the right level of service within that time, which is a very, very tough balancing act. So we always over deliver in the early days. That way we know we can work to the plan, but it will take a little bit longer and things like that. I was about to say I don't get that sort of welcome, but I don't want that sort of welcome, don't worry.
Thank you.
Nice.
It was a good episode, you put it together really well, and it was probably more of a time factor, and this is where that fine line comes in of whether or not we focus more on how much time we're doing it and we reduce the amount of time we're investing in it, or we make sure that we've got a little bit of creative flair to it, because I think it probably lacked a bit of your creative energy and stuff like that compared to others. To a degree, I have to learn to make more of an effort and stuff like that and be aware of it. I was actually surprised you cut when she first came in. We were laughing because you were like, welcome to the family, now go to the shop and get some milk. Did you not? I thought that was on the, not unless you skipped past it when you were watching it, because I thought it was on the same recording. We were like, oh, you know, welcome, great, good to have you here for your first day and all that sort of thing. Danny turned around and went, we've got no milk, can't make you a cup of tea. And I just laughed and went, well, welcome to the family, now do you want to go to the shop and get us some milk? So yeah, this isn't about you, this is more my filming. It makes more of a feature of certain things that are happening, which I think is probably the one thing that this episode lacked a little bit of. It's not like this is a hurdle we have to overcome, or this is something we have to celebrate. Do you know what I mean? Stats then, how are we doing? Let's have a look. Oh, that sounded really positive, Craig. Yeah. Just to, and I've only gone from August at the moment, but just to give you a little bit of positive back as much as anything else, ultimately, where it really shows off, and what the real place is going to tell us whether or not we're achieving what we want to achieve is the inquiries coming in and the feedback we're getting coming in. And we have had inquiries coming in from social media. I've just put it up. Just keep up the work you're doing. You are doing a good job. We just need to try and spread the word a little bit more. So I'll let you get on. Thank you, Craig. If you do need anything, just give me a message over or whatever, and we'll obviously catch up later in the week. All right? the Barthampton interview yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I took him on.
He's
Very nice.
sorted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's sorted and he likes the school and everything. So we're working with him today.
Right, okay, that's good. I need to get all of his details, obviously, so we can do his DBS check.
Yeah.
Vale, did you have the interview there yesterday? Any good? Yeah?
Starting tonight.
Oh, awesome. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
so I'm going up tonight. Introduced her to Nathan.
Yeah.
Fine. He's comfortable with her and everything. So
Did Alan turn up?
I got the phone and the charger and his uniform. So I wrote it on the thing that he never did his 2B whistle. So I got the phone back. So Nathan was more upset with the way Alan left.
I can imagine, yeah. To be fair, I think we've always had a few reservations about Alan anyway, so no, that's really good to get
Yeah,
that turned around
and
that quick.
she loves it there. So yeah, so I'm staffed.
We need to get those support up sorted so you've got a bit more backup.
And I don't want to burn him out. That's why I'm running out.
Do you know what? I was watching the episode through this morning from a couple of weeks ago of the Behind the Cleans, and like you had 2 12-hour days on bounce. You shouldn't be doing that.
I know.
You should never be doing that. Well, we'll have a catch up, a proper catch up Thursday, but I'll have a quick catch up with Kim tomorrow to see where we are and what we're going to do. Wednesday, 6th of September. It is 8:30. I'm just heading into the office now. First day back to school for many. Part of my work-life balance, a non-negotiable for me, is my children. And I've got to make sure that I look after them. Twice a week, I drop my kids off to the bus. It's a little bit like when you're on an aeroplane and they tell you to put your face mask on before you try and help anyone else. That's why I'm always conscious of looking after my own work-life balance. I feel if I'm in the best way, then I can look after others better. I have a massive responsibility to look after the rest of the team. Not an overly busy day for me today, but I've got lots to get through. Most of it's admin and paperwork and bits and pieces like that. Some overflow from yesterday. Lots of boring stuff for me. We do have a couple more interviews though. Technicians today are all really flat out. We've got a lot of extractor systems in the morning, and then the afternoon seems to go back to ovens, carpets, upholstery, and I think we have 1 or 2 end of tenancies as well. One of them is on annual leave this week, which doesn't really affect the others. It just means we don't book as much in when someone's on annual leave. Customer service and Danny in particular are getting a little bit nervous whether or not they can now hit the target for the month. This is where it tests their skills, and they've got to get creative to try and get it in and make the most of what's there. The target is set with having a full team. Our priority is looking after the customers as much as anything else. Ashley has a meeting today with one of our veterinary clinic clients, just an regular quarterly review meeting, which is good just to see how things were going. You should have seen in the footage yesterday that we have had a change of operative up in that particular vets as well. It's one of our more rural sites in the Gloucester area. Because it is a more rural site, it is one of those that is quite difficult to staff, so we make sure that we've kind of got a backup plan up there and we have people permanently waiting in reserve, if you like, so we work on that as well. We're going to speak to the clients, see how they think things are going and what their feedback is. Standards from our perspective have been really good, but we'll get a catch-up call with Ashley later on today. She's also helping Aaron out. He's got a void clean today, which is quite a large one. It's unusual when it comes to the voids that we do, that they're houses, but this is quite a large house, so she's going to go over and help him on that one on her way over to the Barthampton school. We're still getting that school up and running. It's going, obviously this is only the third day of the first week. It's going well. Customer seems to be pretty happy. We just need to make sure that we keep that going, and Ashley's putting the time, investing the time in to make sure it starts to run smoothly. One of the biggest things for us is fit, both obviously you being a fit for the team,
Yes.
the team being a fit for you, but also the job and everything else. Tell me a little bit about you.
Quite chill, horizontal, couch potato. I like my cars.
Yeah.
Think about getting a bike license, but it's expensive. Each their own.
I used to have a bike, and I love a bike, but my wife would divorce me. She told me that. You get a bike, I'm leaving you. Oh, right, okay.
Mine will join me and get a license with me. So.
There might just be a good reason to do it.
It's very boring, mundane, doing the same thing, but it's easy.
Yeah.
That's the issue, getting paid to do an easy job. But no one talks to each other.
Right.
I go around chasing all these managers up and down the country. I then have to go to their managers, and then have to go to their managers.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is horrible at times, because here it's just quite chill, relax. I feel it as I walk in. It's just there's no stress or anything. Yeah. Well, that I felt. Yeah, apparently. Okay, you hide it well.
We have good banter.
Yeah.
We get through the day on banter and coffee, tea.
Yeah.
I did have to laugh. Sorry, I'm going to digress again. I did have to laugh because I was watching the new episode through yesterday. Craig sent it over me for the next episode of Behind the Cleans. And that bit where I said, well, it's alright, we've got beer in the fridge, we've got chocolate here, we're sorted. Craig put that bit in and I'm like, oh well.
I'm not trying this one now.
There's stress in everything.
It's human errors.
There's lots of people involved, whether it's customers or team members or whatever it is. There's lots of moving parts. I wouldn't say there's an atmosphere of stress.
No, we try and
in
cut
fact,
that
we
out
were talking
recently,
about that the other day, weren't we? In fact, we did have a bad day last week, and it was like we were all very flat within an hour of walking in the office. We've got to change that.
Yeah.
Why a cleaning technician?
I've watched lots of videos of carpet cleaning, clean, all that. That's what I do. I go on
Videos
Snapchat.
work, yay!
Not his ones.
Oh.
So no. Everyone says that I've ever employed, and I have seen young, old, fat, thin, tall, short, male, female, and I can never ever tell you whether or not they listen to me or not, and 9 out of 10 of them will walk in and go, you're joking me, it's bloody hard. Or after a few months, it's like, everything aches, didn't know I had a muscle there. Did you know your thumb can hurt from your muscle?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, because that scrubbing action bloody hurts. It is very physical. Now, it's nothing to do about the physical capability, it's up here.
Yeah.
It's all up here. My dad was 63 when he retired, and he only retired then because the doctor told him he had to, and it wasn't related to his physical fitness. I think our oldest technician was 66 when he was.
But yeah, I just need something to actually motivate me, to actually get me out of bed.
Yeah.
Something that I actually enjoy. 'Cause at the moment, I don't think office life suits me, but I don't know if that will. Because like you said, it's very physical, so that might be a bit much. I don't know. So I might not be a perfect fit for your team.
Worries. Alright, speak to you later. And you. Cheers. Bye. He forgot to, probably on the way to him. So you can't blame if you've only messaged him at 8 o'clock.
Has he spoken to him then?
Yeah. He's seen the message now, but he's just ringing me to say, basically, that he forgot because he was working till late last night. And I was like, well, it's not really his fault then if he's not there, because you've only just told him.
It's not, but I would have expected him to ring and say, where am I going tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's the wrong start. I'm sorry, if someone is starting a new job and you don't get contact from that person you're starting, because what if he'd messaged him but it didn't come through? What was he going to do? Sit around all day and just go, oh, you got a message? If that's the type of person he is, and he doesn't see how that's wrong, he's the wrong type of person for the team. Because he had these numbers sat there at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, even 8 o'clock last night, thinking to myself, I'm supposed to be starting work tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Where am I going? What am I doing? Who am I meeting?
Yeah.
I'd have at least dropped Lee a message and said, Lee, where are we going tomorrow?
Thursday the 7th of September, I'm out to do a contract cleaning quote this morning. Very exciting quote for me. I've been working on this one for about 6 months. Got an original lead about it, but they've been going through some staff changes and things like that. And what you tend to find during that time is people sort of put up with the contractors currently in place until it all settles down, and then usually the new person coming in wants to try kind of put a stamp on it. So I've continued to sort of keep in contact and kind of drop in place and things like that, so our name is at the forefront when that happens and they start to think about, well, what's next. That's the benefit of some of the content that we do. They get to see a bit more about us, so I'm really excited about this one. going in and have a good look around. I've already quoted it, but I've never met this particular individual, so they want to talk through the quote, through what we can provide and how we believe it will improve what they're currently getting. I've then got to shoot in, because it's just round the corner, I've got to shoot up and pick up some keys for a job that we're doing in a week or two's time. The customers asked us basically to pop in, pick up keys and let ourselves in to do the work. It's for an office window clean, but it's the internal windows because the landlord does all the externals. Then it's to head back to the office. Got the leadership team meeting today as well, talk through any things that are happening, what's going on. Technicians are all busy. It is a very busy day today. I'm just about to put a message out on the group to them all to make sure that they keep hydrated, because it is very warm. We're meant to be very warm today, which is obviously even harder when we're working, well, when we're doing what we're doing. If you're in a commercial kitchen, they're usually really hot anyway. And obviously we have to turn off the extractor systems, which is the ventilation to keep them cooler. So that makes it harder work, and obviously if they're using the vapor steam cleaners as well, that just generally raises the temperature with that. So just a gentle reminder to make sure them all to keep hydrated as well.
The build up on these is so bad.
That's just unbelievable.
So I've just finished that quote visit. Obviously don't want to give too much away on that one yet. The contract's not signed and sealed and all done, but meeting went very, very positively. Basically, it's kind of one of those, the contractor that is currently there is just completely and utterly under delivering by a mile. Same old story. The client is obviously paying for X amount of hours per week to maintain their building. The contractor is basically just saying, well, we've done your hours, but the site's not clean enough, but we've done your hours. And they're going back and forwards about it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, don't get me wrong, for one, you don't want to do more hours than you're actually getting paid for, obviously. But you do allow for more hours. You allow for the management and the supervision, which is what's just not happening. They've got a group of operatives in there at the moment who basically, I mean, it doesn't look like it's organised. It doesn't look like they know what they're doing each day, each week, etc. So the organisation needs to be shaken up and done properly. They're having weekly meetings with the client at the moment, and what the client has just told me now is on more than one occasion during that weekly meeting, they've turned round and said, when the client has told the contractor, your cleaners aren't doing the job right, and the contractor's turned around and gone, no, because they're shit. What? That's your responsibility. If your operatives aren't good enough, train them, and if you can't train them to be good enough, replace them. That's your responsibility. Take some bloody pride in the work that you're doing. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting, and I could not believe that they think that that is okay to sit there and say that to a customer. I would be appalled. I'd be absolutely appalled to walk around that site and say that that's one that we work with. I just, not a chance in hell. When we work, if we're underperforming, if we are not meeting the standards on the site, either by the customer's opinion or by our opinion, we will get someone in there to put it right. And that's why we have mobile support operatives, to make sure that we are supervising the sites, but also able to deliver those extra cleans and everything else. And if they're not doing that, do they care enough? And that's what it is, isn't it? Because ultimately, and again, the customer has just said to me, what they're having to do is invest their time in the management and the supervision, in the checks, constantly sending emails, making phone calls, having a weekly meeting to review their cleaning. weekly. No. So, as you can see, that's bothered me quite a lot, but at the same time, it gets me energized in the right way, because I know fact we can improve it, we can get it right, and we can deliver the service to the client. There's just a couple of tweaks that we need to make to the contract that we've sent over, because they supply some things that we wouldn't supply as standard. Not that we can't do it, I just haven't allowed for it. So I'm going to tweak that, send it over, and we'll let you know how we get on. I also did the watch through of episode 9 of Behind the Cleans this morning. Craig's been working really hard because he's off next week, so he's managed to get episode 8 and episode 9 done this week. So obviously we don't have to do anything next week, and then he's prepared for the following week when he comes back, and he'll have 2 weeks to put together that week, obviously being this week and next week, to put together to get himself back on track as well. So I've just done the watch through, and I'm just going to give him a call and have a chat through my sort of feedback. So I had a feeling that you were probably thinking, get me to look at the rough version and then you can do the tweaks and stuff like that anyway, because like, I know you're conscious of time and everything else, and I'm sure you thought if you didn't get it over to me yesterday, I probably wouldn't be looking at it until tonight, and then it's only going to give you Friday to sort it, and it's all the joys of time, isn't it? So I did think that, but I obviously didn't want to leave it out, and then you assumed that I thought it was okay as was and stuff like that. So I've literally just listed what I thought. I'm just looking at your message back. The bit in the kitchen, yeah, that's, to be honest, I kind of assumed you said there was no, I saw that there was no intro on one particular day. I was having issues with the microphone that day, and I think it was the same issue as before. I think the battery was going on it. So, and what tends to happen is if the battery gets low, it doesn't really give you a good indication. It just kind of cuts off. It drops from really high battery to nothing.
I mean, to be fair, it was after you'd done that like window cleaning day for however long, so...
That's what I mean. I didn't plug it in that night. I went to plug it in that night, and I'd left the charger in the office, so I couldn't plug it in. And that's why I thought, oh, it'll be all right. I didn't use it that much, but I obviously had. So, but it's fine. You covered that quite well, and I don't think we need an intro every single day. You said the audio for that was all in there, about explaining about the graphics.
Everything that mentions it.
Yeah, well, yeah, everything you had, but there isn't. It basically, I go on to explain that originally they said just take the van away, we'll refund you, etc., and they didn't have a lot of confidence in their work, but we sort of basically negotiated a little bit, and they were going to put new logos on it, and then we were going to make our minds up whether or not we use them for the next 3 vans when we get the new vans. If I just record a bit of audio on WhatsApp, I like what you've done where it just kind of goes blue and then you've done the wording, it says audio issue or whatever, and then if we kind of just lay the audio after that, that's probably the quickest, easiest way for you really as well, isn't it? I'll just do a brief outline of what happened and what our decision is.
I think what we can do is I tried to play it off as like a funny thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I could try actually is carry over the music and just sort of have you sort of up front say, we had a bit of an audio issue, but this is basically the full story kind of thing. That's
what I mean. Yeah, that's what I was going to say basically. And that it is that sort of thing that we just need to inject a little bit of our character and our humour into it as well.
I mean, I did try something like that. Like there was a little clip where Ashley's talking to Aaron when you left the room, and the day when Paul came in, Ashley was like whispering to Aaron, saying like, "Oh, why is he filming in an empty room?"
I didn't see that bit. Might be because maybe because I was watching it through faster, but no, I agree. But all in all, I think it's a good episode. I think there is a lot in there. I don't think there's. I thought it could be dragging and maybe be a little bit boring, but I watched one of Asheville's episodes last night. I wouldn't have said theirs was much better. Obviously, the topics are different, and you know, the man's a multi-millionaire with a 10-15 million pound business, so some of his topics are a little bit more interesting, but you know,
he had cameras on cranes or something.
He did have cameras on cranes. He also had multiple videographers filming him as well, you know, which he was bragging about and like getting them to mess around and stuff, which just makes life easier anyway. You're doing a really good job with what you've got. There's just these little things that we can look at and think, well, maybe if we do this and we tweak that and stuff like that, really, and see how it goes.
I do appreciate the feedback.
I think it's getting. I honestly believe it's getting better and better every week, and obviously I'm trying harder. I think some of the guys are trying harder and they're getting some good stuff, but ultimately none of that makes any difference without you putting the hard work in and doing your bit.
Isn't he lovely? Are you sure?
I did get an extra one too.
Wow, you superstar. Thank you. There's one for you.
Ashley.
Sarah. Good day.
Happy work anniversary.
Thank you.
There we go.
Oh my god, they've got a good enough to do.
Right, thank you for everything you do.
Annie.
Oh, thank you.
That's all they had though.
That's fine.
Oh no, the prize is for me. You don't get the prize.
I'm sorry, I'm having it. What you say? I'll swap you a monster. It's a McMuffin.
Don't let Aaron see that because he'll take it.
I'll find it.
He's a freak.
That's going in my bag.
So hot in there.
Go drive a van and sweat in the van
Yeah.
while driving because there's no air.
Why?
My van is 11 years old.
Period together for you.
And it's falling apart now. Like,
Do you want to know how the aircon works? It's like this.
yeah, doesn't work like
If you don't come home afterwards,
It seems to be doing pretty well.
fan that works, they're good.
It's blowing hot air though. That's the problem. The air's too hot. It's just hot air. I have the fans
You'll
on.
get a new van with aircon. Just in time for the winter.
Yeah. But as well, last week I was like busy in my van, and then the shelves broke. So all my equipment was in the back of my van.
Friday the 8th of September. Got into the office a little bit late today because I had to go and have a meeting with my children's school. I've got a bit of a personal issue over there, which is always good fun. So I went and had a meeting with them, but then back into the office, quickly shooting over with the new Peugeot van to get that dropped off because the engine management light is still on. We've had the issue of that. We had to put our foot down a bit with it at the beginning of the week because it still hadn't been booked in basically, and when we chased it up they told us they couldn't get us an appointment until October. We're obviously adjacent to a farm in our office and there's silage in today, hence the tractor noise, so that's always fun as well. Absolutely melting the last couple of days, but hey ho. Technicians today have lots of smaller jobs to do. Scott and Stephen back up a blind clean for Carter's Group. Yeah, it's one of our contract customers. If you haven't seen the video of the first walk around of that one, click here. Craig will put that up so you can click there and go over and check that out. It's an amazing site. The building is unbelievable. It's a lot of glass, but they have electronic adjustable blinds. We had to do it more by hand first time round. This time we can do it by long reach and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good clean there today. Contract wise, support ops, they are up to Vale Vets tonight. We had someone basically give their notice beginning of the week, supposed to do at least 2 weeks notice, didn't rock up for the second shift, the following shift, and we thought we had it filled. Recruitment has definitely been the focus of this week. It's been a typical roller coaster ride. We thought we had it filled very quickly because we'd already put that out there, and then that fell apart as well. So they're covering it at the moment, but they've got some other things lined up with local flexies and people from other sites as well to help cover it until we can get that position filled. Kim is working her absolute backside off on the recruitment. Myself, I'm in the office today catching up on a few bits and pieces. I need to get the quote out from that really exciting visit I did yesterday, and then I've got lots of emails to get through as well. Joys. Managed to get the Peugeot in for the engine management light removal, so they can have a look at it, diagnose it, repair it. Yeah, chap seemed pretty good, to be fair. So not the normal place that we would use, but because it's under the warranty, we've got to do it at their preferred place. Had to kind of put our foot down a little bit to make sure they did do it here, because they wanted to wait till October to get it done. We don't want the van off the road. Pretty much finished up for the day, for the week, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on a couple of things that have panned out this afternoon. The van that went in for the repair with the engine management light, I've had no contact from the repairers on that today. Now that van is supposed to be sorted today / end of play Monday, because I'm going to be swapping Kyle into that van, because his van needs to go in, is being picked up Tuesday, and one of the new vans is being dropped off. So hopefully it all falls into place. The veterinary practice that Ashley and Aaron are having to cover at the moment, I think Aaron and Ashley are going to both go there on Sunday, but we're going to be cleaning that on the weekend as well, because we need to cover it. It's a shift, and obviously veterinary practices, they work 24/7 with the emergencies as well, so quite often they'll have quite a bit to do on a Sunday, or they get 2 areas that they don't normally get to during the week. 2 of the 3 new vans have been paid out. Spoken to the suppliers of those, and the first one is coming next week. That's good, so we can get that all swapped around. The third one is just basically paperwork. It's been a busy week. Danny is adamant she's going to hit that target. We're getting booked up. We are booked up a good 2 to 2.5 weeks ahead now, which is a bit more like it of how we should be, but things are working in the right direction. Just got to keep on pushing. Well, that's another week down. Come back next week and see how the recruitment continues. It's out with the old and in with the new. We finally get to the bottom of that EML light, and we get down and dirty with a fancy pub carpet clean. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, give us a like, click the follow button and the bell icon to make sure you're alerted at next week's episode. Thanks for watching.